Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic, joined by longtime friends of the show, the Watson family, the Seager family. We're going to talk about a combined trip they took this past summer. Guys, how are you doing?
We're good.
We're good.
Awesome. This is Sydney and Lisa. And you can't see on the video, but you might be able to hear it a little bit. Little Mikey's in here. This is his first trip to Walt Disney World. I'm sure we'll touch on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So guys, tell us, what was the reason for this trip? I know, Lisa, you guys started a little bit earlier than everybody else.
We did. It was to celebrate my 60th birthday.
Awesome.
So we had all the kids and grandkids down, as well as some family friends and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Wonderful. And the first part of your trip before the family got there, I believe you were staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Worth every penny. It was so phenomenal. As you well know, we had Savannah View room, and to be able to come back to the room in the evening and go out on the balcony and see and talk to our giraffes and ostriches. Saw some. What else did we see? Lots of birds.
Oh,
yeah, gazelles.
Wow.
Get up in the morning, go out on the balcony, and have coffee with them. It was just phenomenal.
One of the cast members actually took me one morning.
Oh yeah, Tom was out there having coffee one morning, and one of the cast members was out doing some feeding or cleaning up or something, and they actually sat there and talked for probably 20-30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "You must love your job." And she said, "I have the greatest job in the world."
Wow.
Yeah, it was worth every penny. The lodge, the kids came over to see it as well. And we ate at the Mara, and good food, really good food. We also ate at Sanaa one night. Tom and I did our first night, I think. Our first night. It was delicious, and it was hilarious because there were two cranes that would come up to the windows, and it was like they were going, "Hey, what you eating? Can I have some? Can I have some?" It was really funny.
Oh, was that your first time to Sanaa?
Yes.
Would you recommend?
Honestly, I don't remember what I had. We did order the bread service, and it was good. It was a lot.
Uh-huh.
We could have had that for dinner easily.
So it was a lot of food.
It was a lot of food. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of food.
Awesome. Now, I do remember that when we booked your trip like a year ahead of time. I do recall. And I remember you booked a king-size bed initially.
Yep.
And I remember discounts came out.
Yep.
So as I was looking for discounts, I saw that, if you were willing to, I think you saved like $500 by moving to a 2-queen bedroom.
And it didn't bother us at all having that extra bed. We just shoved our luggage on it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I do have to say, I do like with the rooms now that the beds are up high enough that you can actually put your luggage underneath the beds.
Yeah.
And that's true at Caribbean Beach as well.
That was
that was
amazing.
nice.
It gives you so much more room to work with in the rooms now. They've done that.
More room. Yeah. Yeah.
With as much as we brought for Mikey, we were able to fit everything under that bed.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and also, I don't know if you recall this, but Tom hurt his back really bad about 5 days before we were supposed to go.
Yes, I was going to touch on this. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, we rented electric scooter from Buena Vista Scooters.
Mm-hmm.
They were great to work with. At one point, it actually died while we were at Hollywood Studios. They came to the studios, came into the park, met us at Indiana Jones show with a new scooter, and just swapped it out. Yeah, they were great. But this room, well, actually, both rooms, we were able to drive that thing into the room and park it by an outlet to plug it in overnight.
Oh, awesome. That's good to know.
And for the record, I only ran over one kid.
He only ran over one child. It was
as long as it wasn't yours.
No, it wasn't one of ours.
It was a teenager.
And we were at Magic Kingdom, and we were going towards the castle, and he just stopped and dropped right in front of Tom to tie his shoe.
Yeah.
And Tom couldn't do anything. And I have to say, rather than the parents turning around and yelling at Tom, they turned around and told their son, "What are you doing? You can't do that. You can't just stop right in the middle like that." So
awesome.
that was nice to see.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say the kid probably had it coming.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, you see that with people in scooters, people just cut right in front of them. But the same thing I noticed with strollers.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, I'm not invisible here. I got a whole stroller.
Right. There's a young one in these strollers. You got to be careful.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And if it was nap time, he was not happy. So it wasn't quiet either.
Awesome. So the whole family ended up, you ended up meeting everybody at the Caribbean Resort, Caribbean Beach.
We did.
And we had to make a slight adjustment on your room because of the scooter. We had to make sure you guys were on a first floor.
Right.
And they
Right.
accommodated you fine with that?
I'm sorry.
They accommodated you fine with
Oh,
the
they
first floor?
absolutely. We had a great room. We were all in the same building.
Mhm.
I think there was only one group that was on the second floor.
It was Ryan and Ashley, JR
Yeah.
and Larkin and the kids.
Yeah, it was our Ohio group that came in a little bit later than everybody else. The ones with two of our grandkids, one of whom was an infant. She was born in May. So, they didn't have anything to carry up those stairs
Nothing.
at all.
Oh,
Well, let's be honest. It was Ryan carrying.
Yeah, it was
everything
Ryan.
he did.
Well, Ashley was carrying kids though.
Well,
so
yeah.
It was
True.
hilarious.
yeah. So no, it was great. There ended up being 17 of us.
that's a nice sized group.
Yeah. It was
Did
great.
everybody enjoy the Skyliner that was there?
Oh
yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I have to say with my son and daughter-in-law, my son, of course, had been to Disney with us, but hadn't been since 2017. So lots changed. We always used to stay at Port Orleans French Quarter. So already the resort was new to him. But we kept saying, just wait till you get on the Skyliner. Wait till you get on the Skyliner. Our first day was Epcot, I believe. Our first full day when they were here.
Yeah.
And they got on the Skyliner and I'm like, did we sell it too much? And they're like, no, it was awesome.
I did have to warn my sister-in-law on that hard brake when you come into the station.
Don't panic.
Yeah, because even though I know it's coming every time, I still stick my feet out on the chair in front of me like I'm gonna push a brake or something myself. I do it every time. But
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, Mikey didn't even freak out though. We pointed the stroller so he could look out where the doors open and close.
Mm-hmm.
And he just watched. He looked at everything and he didn't make a peep. He wasn't upset or anything.
Yeah, the Skyliner had such a convenience and value to those resorts anymore that it's hard to beat. Just dropping in the international gateway there for Epcot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and right there, we timed it last time we were there. Tom and I did last year when we were there. And you can get to Hollywood. Once you get on the gondola, you can get to Hollywood Studios in 4.5 minutes and Epcot in 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Everything went well with the scooter and the Skyliner?
Went great. Cause they have the special lane for wheelchairs and the ECVs.
Mhm.
ECVs, I think that's what they're called. And you just go up there and they load you up and you wait for just a minute and then they put you right in line with everybody else.
It's fantastic because there's no rush. They just work in your time. And when you're ready to go, they send you.
Yep.
Fantastic.
It was
So
awesome.
So what was your park experiences like this time? You had the newborn, you had a scooter. How you had both ends of the spectrum kind of working on this one.
It was very much slower. Well, actually, Tom and I typically, when we go for a while. So we have slowed down a lot anyways.
Perfect.
It was a lot slower. It was a lot more about shows. We didn't ride nearly as many rides as we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even get to ride Journey into an Imagination with the kids.
And that's
Tom
what
and
I
I
really wanted
did.
to do.
Oh, I remember.
It was pretty crowded too. I mean, typically we went October 9th through the 22nd, I think.
Yeah, it was the 22nd. We came home the 22nd.
So I thought, kids are in school. There's no major, because we waited until after President's Day. Not President's Day, Columbus Day, because we knew to avoid that. I was surprised at the crowds, but there were people prepared people, and the folks, especially the ones that were there for the first time, really used Genie Plus a lot and the lightning lanes.
Lance and Rachel.
Lance and Rachel. Well, and Ashley did too.
Oh, really?
Ashley used the lightning lanes a lot. Yeah, she and Rory, our 4.5-year-old grandson, her goal was to get him on as many rides that he could ride as possible. So, and I think she accomplished it.
Yeah, I had sent her a list. I had done a list of all of the rides without height requirements at every park, because we had every intention of trying to do that too. Did not happen. We focused more on character greets and shows. And it was, oh my gosh, it was the sweetest thing. And it made my whole trip for me. I didn't realize that there's a tucked away area in England in Epcot, or in the UK pavilion in Epcot, where you can see Winnie the Pooh. And I think it's Christopher Robin's bedroom is what it's called. It's tucked away. I didn't even know it was there. And we were in the shop, in the very back of the shop, and looking at the Winnie the Pooh stuff. And then I look up, and through like waterfall glass on a door, I can see Winnie the Pooh looking at us and waving. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Winnie the Pooh. And I grab Mikey and I'm like, Mikey, look, it's Winnie the Pooh. And then the cast member who was with Winnie the Pooh came and got us and brought us back behind there. And I just started bawling. I started crying because I'm like, you don't understand. Our son's entire nursery is Winnie the Pooh. For 5 years, we were trying to have a child, didn't think it was ever going to happen, and then we did. So Winnie the Pooh is really special to us. The cast member was crying with me.
Oh,
and Michael just got the biggest smile on his face and was interacting with Winnie the Pooh. And Winnie the Pooh was like cuddling him and giving him love and everything. It was the sweetest thing I'd ever seen, and it made my entire trip.
oh. Because I know that's one reason you were going to stay go to the Crystal Palace was for Winnie the Pooh.
And we did do that. We did do that. So we got to see Winnie the Pooh again. I
Hmm.
think that was our last full. It was our last full day at Magic, and it was Magic Kingdom. We had lunch at the Crystal Palace because we had dinner at Hoop-Dee-Doo, which was also a first for us. So we got to see Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore, and Winnie the Pooh. Got photos and videos there. But it was just that one meeting with just us and Winnie the Pooh. Nobody else was around because you don't really realize that area is there. It was just really special. We got to take our time with Winnie the Pooh, and we weren't rushed to like get a picture and get out kind of thing. It was very, very sweet.
Oh, one of those special moments you couldn't have planned if you wanted to. You couldn't have planned anything better.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight for sure.
Fantastic.
We did some first time things this trip too.
What did you do this first time?
Well, like Sydney said, we went to Hoop-Dee-Doo Review on our last night.
And I can't believe we'd never done it before.
Had so much fun. And Mikey got to, I don't know if you've ever been, but they pass out washboards for the audience with spoons. Well, Mikey did it for our table, and he had a blast. He had so much fun playing that.
I've got photos of him doing the spoons on the washboard, and it is the cutest thing. John's holding it, and Mikey's going to town. Even the performers were like, "Oh my God, that's so cute." He had a blast. We all had a blast.
Yeah,
and I can't.
Food was really good.
The food was good. And the show.
Show was
I don't
phenomenal.
think we stopped laughing the whole time. It was fantastic. It was hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know about the Hoop-Dee-Doo because even though it's one of the longest running dinner shows ever, but it's just been so popular, and I need to go to it again. It's been a few years since we've been there. Fun fact:
I recommend it.
Sorry,
we're
gonna have to repeat that.
Tom just said we're gonna have to definitely do that every time we go for sure.
Awesome. Yes.
The other new thing that we did, not everybody was able to do this, but we went on a Wild Africa trek,
Yes, I was going to ask about that because you
Well,
they did a special accommodation for this. Tell us about how that all happened.
we did it actually, because again, Tom hurt his back right before we went, so he was on an electric scooter. Well, you have to be able to walk. I mean, it's an actual trek. That's not just the name. You do actually, bless you. You do actually trek through the woods and stuff. Well, we called him before we went thinking, we'll have to get somebody else that wants to go or try to get our money back. So Tom called him and was talking to him, and they're like, well, we can give you your money back. Or what we could do is just take you on your own private little trek. We'll put you in. Are you able to transfer into a truck? Yes. Fine. We'll put you in your own truck and take you around. So he had his own private truck.
Wow.
Yeah. And then met up with us for lunch.
Nice. So what kind of stuff did you guys do? And then I want to find out what kind of stuff they did with Tom.
We trekked through the woods, and we saw the hippo pool, and they put these harnesses on you, and you actually get to go behind the barrier so you can lean over and look at them.
Ooh.
Same thing with crocodiles. And there was also a couple of swinging bridges that we crossed going over the hippo enclosure and the crocodile pool.
He's grabbing wires.
And it was really cool. And it was really a lot of fun. It really was. And then we got on a truck. That's when we met up with Tom and kind of went around the safari, but it was more stop and go than the regular Kilimanjaro safari. So we got to see, we actually did get to see a lot more and a lot more explanation about the animals and stuff.
Now, were you able to get out of the vehicle at all, or were you just driving up closer to the animals?
No. Yeah, no, we stayed in the vehicle.
Okay.
And then I don't know what Tom did.
Oh, we'll bring him in. Let's ask Tom.
Tom, what did they do with you?
Oh my God, I just had everything was just a walk through the park, and then they stopped at a couple of places, and I had my own tour guides talk to me, like we stopped where the birds are, where they were feeding birds, and they spent 20 minutes talking to me about the different birds, the species, and what they do. I mean, it was just fabulous. And we went around and saw the other different animals, and I had my own tour guide explaining everything to me. It was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it really was, because I thought I was just gonna have a boring time and stuff, and that wasn't even close. They were awesome. All the cast members, I can't say enough about them.
Yeah, they were all phenomenal.
Wow. Okay, what other first time things did you do this trip?
I use baby care stations.
Okay, that's important though, because a lot of people have kids. Tell us how these baby care stations worked, how they were nice. What'd you do there?
They were fantastic. They were well stocked with everything I could think of that we could possibly need. If I ran out of formula, they had it. If I ran out of puree pouches, they had it. Sunblock, first aid stuff, diapers, wipes. They had bibs. They had change of outfits. Anything that you could think of that you could possibly need with a baby, they had it. And they were very, very clean. I think my favorite one, two of them were my favorite. Magic Kingdom's baby care and Animal Kingdom's baby care. They were big, and they had multiple stations where you could change diapers. And every time somebody would leave, a cast member would go in and clean up the area and put a new sheet of paper down on top of the padding for the next person to come in. They had bowls and spoons so that I could pour a puree pouch in there and feed him, because I kept forgetting. I packed bowls and spoons from home, and I kept forgetting to put them in the diaper bag. So I didn't have them on me for the whole trip. So they had bowls, they had spoons, they had sinks and everything. They had microwaves to heat up milk and everything.
They had hot and cold water
dispensers, like filtered hot and cold water dispensers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because my son drinks formula, so I needed a combination of hot and cold water because he's very particular with the temperature of his bottle. But they had everything. And then in the Animal Kingdom one and in Magic Kingdom, there's also a seating area section that they're playing a movie. And it was a quieter area. I mean, of course, the movie's playing, but it's not super, super loud. And we fed Michael in there. We got him to nap a little bit in there before transferring him to the stroller and leaving. They were fantastic. Everybody was super nice in there. I will say the Hollywood Studios one is very small. That was my least favorite one because it was very small. Okay. Not much of a seating area to feed your child. There was only one high chair. And Michael squirming around so much, we needed a high chair to feed him because he will not be still for anything. But they were the cleanest areas I'd ever had to change a diaper, and I refused to go into any restroom to change his diapers after that. I went straight to the baby care every single time we had to change a diaper.
Nice. Now, if you needed something at the baby care center, do you buy it from them? Do they just provide it for you?
You buy it.
Okay.
We bought a sunscreen mineral stick for his face. We bought a bib because we had forgotten one. There were a few things that we did buy, and I mean, it's not much more expensive than you would get off of Amazon or whatever, which we also did do Amazon delivery to the resort for a few things.
Okay.
Which was great because Amazon had the specific purees that we feed Michael. It's a specific brand, and they were able to deliver it straight to Bell Services, and then Bell Services took it straight to our room. We didn't have to go get it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So yeah, anybody with a kid, a small child, I highly recommend the baby care areas. They are amazing.
They really were.
I was blown away, honestly.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, because I know everybody asks once in a while, how is it taking, infant or a baby to the parks? And it's good to know those centers are there.
Yeah. And even if you don't need to change a diaper or feed, if you just need somewhere to sit down that's quiet and air conditioned, that was the place to do it.
It's probably a good way to stall some meltdowns for some kids when you kind of sense them getting there. Just it's time to go to the baby care center for a little bit.
Yep.
Yes. And like my mom had mentioned, we did have to slow down. So it was nice being able to get on the Skyliner and go back to our resort if we had to. And we did a few times. We also did some late starts just because if a baby's sleeping, don't wake him up.
Oh, I get it. I'm a big fan of the occasional sleep-in day and slower start to the morning.
Oh yeah. We didn't rope drop once. It was more about trying to keep Michael on his schedule because it was a different time zone. It was an hour ahead. And we were trying to make it as easy as possible for him, but also when we came home, not so hard to kind of readjust to his routine. He didn't like being in a stroller for nap time because he'd never done it before. So we did kind of have to improvise there. But it was definitely a different trip, a much slower trip. But we also, we've never visited other resorts either. When we go on our trips, we normally that's the resort we're at. So that's where we're staying. If we're not in the parks, we're not going to go to any other resort for anything, food or anything. This trip, we ignored that. And like my mom had said, we had dinner that first night at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is a beautiful resort. It is amazing. The theming is, I'd never seen anything like it. It's amazing. But we also, because my brother and I have our memories at Port Orleans French Quarter, that's where we basically grew up going to. We did take my sister-in-law because she had never been to that resort. We took a minivan through Lyft And we actually got our beignets. We had our beignets at Port Orleans. We walked around a little bit and showed Emily kind of our home, what we call our home.
Right.
And then we took a boat to downtown Disney and we had dinner at Raglan Road.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. But then I also remember like, dang, it really is different staying at a resort that doesn't have the Skyliner.
Mm-hmm.
If we at Caribbean Beach, we use the Skyliner every chance we got, but we also did not use the buses really. We took advantage of the minivans through Lyft just because Michael is obviously in a car seat. He didn't need to be in the car seat in the stroller. He could sit in the stroller without that. But for transportation, he had to be in a car seat. And the minivans are equipped with 2 car seats each, rear and forward facing. And it was just very, very convenient. And you get really good conversation. They're cast members. And the ones that we had, they had different jobs in the parks before they became minivan drivers. So we learned all sorts of stuff about rides that they used to work on. There was one cast member who worked the Tower of Terror and told us about, if you ever notice in the queue, there's a section that's blocked off and it kind of looks like a break area kind of thing. There's a jar of pickles. And that was not intended to be a prop. That was somebody who was working on the ride, took their lunch, and the next day they came and that area was blocked off as part of the queue and the pickles are still there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That was such a cool little fun fact that you don't hear from like an Uber driver or anything like that. It's another experience being in a minivan. It's like another Disney experience.
And I will tell you that they do have, I think they said they have 4 or 5 wheelchair or ECV accessible vans.
Okay, that's great to know. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Unfortunately, 2 of them were out of service while we were there.
But the Suburban picked y'all up and Tom's was collapsible.
Yeah.
So
you
it
take
could be
the scooter apart and it fit in the back of the Suburban.
Oh, good. So that worked out well.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you find the process of ordering the minivan using the Lyft app?
Oh, it was very, very
so
easy. It is something that you have to select because there are other options. And if you're specifically wanting a minivan, you do have to kind of scroll and click on it. I can't remember if it saved that selection though, because we had selected it so many times that it kind of defaulted for us.
Okay.
Like the app knew that that's what we wanted. So it was the first on the list to select. It is a little bit more expensive, but it is very worth it.
You pay for convenience.
Plus it's a cast member driving you around. So
plus you're in a minivan. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really, really cool.
The photo ops alone.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So even though you're not on Disney transportation with the bus or a boat or anything, you're still in the Disney bubble with a Disney cast member transporting you wherever you're going.
You ever use it going to or coming from the Magic Kingdom? Because that seems like the perfect use case for it because it's right there, almost like right outside the door.
Oh my gosh. It was, we used it multiple times at Magic Kingdom. And we would get there at better times. We weren't there first thing in the morning when everybody else is there rope dropping and it's the big crowd that it's just really stressful. But we would also leave before the nighttime shows because Michael and his routine, but we also didn't know how he would do with fireworks.
Right,
so
right.
We didn't really. I think the only time we stayed late was for the Halloween party because we did do the Halloween party.
We did do the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Had absolute blast. I dressed up as Cruella de Vil and everybody else were my Dalmatians, including Mikey.
Yep.
So it was really, we also had Sully.
No, Jasper and Horace.
Oh yeah. We had Jasper and Horace too.
My uncle was, Uncle Russ was Horace, right?
No,
and
Horace,
John was Jasper?
No, John was Horace. Uncle Russ was
Jasper.
Which is the tall one?
Is it Jasper or Horace?
I don't remember.
I think it's Horace.
The tall one was my husband, and the
Okay.
shorter one was my uncle.
Yeah. And then everybody else was Dalmatians.
Mhm.
And it was so funny because we all got into character when we got there. And I used one of Tom's canes because he did get a cane. He actually has a shillelagh from Ireland, but he didn't take it with him because he had heard that TSA agents were starting to confiscate those because they are technically a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
So he bought this really cool cane walking stick from the African outpost in Epcot. It's beautiful. It's got the see no evil.
I gotta go grab it.
See no, yeah,
I'll go grab it.
see no
Cool.
evil, no evil, speak no evil.
Okay. Yeah.
The bottom is like, I can't remember now. She'll get it. It's either a giraffe or a zebra, like painted.
Okay.
It was, so I used that. And it was really funny when we knew to scope out a good place in Frontierland before the parade, with the villains. So we got a really good spot right up front, and John sat and was holding Mikey in his lap. And it was hilarious when Cruella DeVille came through with her car with Jasper and Horace. It was Horace reached out because he saw Mikey dressed up as a Dalmatian. We want the baby. Give us the baby. And John just holds him up. It was really funny.
Oh,
Interaction was phenomenal.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Cruella looked at me and she goes,
oh,
The heart.
I can't do the
Yeah.
heart.
I got what you were trying to do.
This
All right, what
is-
we got there?
Yeah.
That is nice.
Well, let me put it in the white so you can.
Wow, that is detailed.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is.
It's a good sturdy.
It's a nice
thing,
sturdy
too.
stick too. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. So
cool.
that was a good time. We had fun.
It was fun.
Got lots of candy.
So Mikey enjoyed the Halloween party?
I think he did. He did better than I thought he would. The show didn't really bother him. The loud noises and
Mm-mm.
everything didn't really bother him. The only time he really started to get fussy was when he was hungry and wanted his bottle. So we did that actually during the parade. And then he was a happy camper from there.
I do have to say I was a little bit disappointed when we went to the Boo to You Halloween party, which was post
It was
COVID.
like during COVID or
Well, it was-
when the park reopened.
Right. It was after the
From
park
shutdown.
reopened. Drinks and snacks all over the park, in addition to the candy that you're trick-or-treating for, was all free of charge.
Right.
This time it was not. You were
Oh,
charged for everything except for the candy.
okay.
We discovered that because Tom really wanted a Mickey bar, because we got those at no charge the last time we went to the party. So he went up to get one this time, and they're like, "Okay, that's $6.95." Oh, okay, no problem.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I just wanted the candy.
What else did we do that was new?
I was going to ask, what
Yeah.
other first time things did you do this time?
Well, what else did? Oh my goodness!
You rode Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That was so cool. We had a dinner reservation at Italy that night. And we are like, okay, I think we can do this. If we power walk as soon as we get off that ride, we should make it. And then our boarding group kept getting pushed back a little and pushed back a little. And we're
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, I don't think we're going to make it.
No.
Oh my gosh, but we got to ride this ride.
And this was for my birthday celebration dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah.
we also didn't want to be late to dinner
Right.
because we all have to be there in order to be seated. And I didn't want them to be waiting on us. So our boarding group is finally called. We're going through the queue and it's going pretty fast. And then it kind of starts to slow down. And I'm watching the clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. We're not going to make it. I don't want to leave the queue though. And we finally get to the pre-show and I'm like, okay, we're good. We're going to make it. But this is the pre-show. And then next is we're getting on the ride. I didn't realize that you get out of the pre-show and there's still a line that you have to go through to get on the ride. But it did go pretty fast. They were getting people on and off that ride very quickly. And we finally got on the ride and we're like, guys, we made it. This is awesome. And I forget the soundtrack that we had on our version. Oh, it's the theme song in Hell's Kitchen.
Fire.
That one.
Dun, dun,
Okay.
dun, dun,
That's
dun,
the song
dun.
we had.
Uh-huh.
And it was amazing. I do kind of wish I had taken Dramamine because it was much for me. But it was still a really cool, fun ride. And as soon as we got off that ride, we had less than 5 minutes to book it from that ride to Via Napoli in Italy.
Oh my goodness.
So we were power walking, weaving in and out of people. And me and our friend Rachel were back there kind of like hobbling because our feet are killing us. But we made it.
Oh, right. Awesome.
Since
since
she
we're on the
brought that up,
subject.
so last year, when Tom and I were there for our 10th anniversary, we always try to make Via Napoli like our first dinner because we just love the pizza. We'll get a pizza, salad, and some wine and just chill out.
Mhm.
So last year when we were there, we had a great waiter named Roberto and had great conversations with him. And this was before they brought the international workers back.
Okay.
Like he is Italian, but he was married and lives in Orlando with his wife. So had a great conversation with him. At some point, the manager comes. His name is Steven. The manager comes over. I don't even remember why. Oh, Tom asked for him. I don't remember why. But anyways,
the big table. Yeah.
we had already decided when we went this year that we wanted to have my birthday celebration at Via Napoli.
Mhm.
Salad, pizza, wine, that's easy for everybody. So they have this humongous table in the middle of the restaurant that seats, I think, probably 22, 23 people,
Wow.
maybe 25. It's huge. So Tom asked to speak to the manager, and Steven comes over and we're talking to him and we tell him what we would like to do. And we're like, so what do we need to do to reserve this table? He's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Here's my name and number. About a week ahead of time, just text me and remind me of our conversation and I'll get it set up for you.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, cool. So the conversation was much, much longer than that. We left feeling very comfortable with each other. I think he's got family in San Antonio. So we talked about Texas some too. So we left. So then our first full day there when Tom and I went was at Epcot. So we went to Via Napoli and asked for Steven, and he finally comes out because it was busy. And it was really funny. You could tell he's like, I don't know who these people are. And of course you think about the thousands of people
Right.
that he talks to all the time.
Mhm.
Yes.
He took one look at Tom, saw the mustache and said, I remember you now.
Oh.
It's hilarious. So he set up the table for us. We ate, what was it, 3:45? We had panicked
was
a little
4.
bit, and 3 of us had gone ahead and made dining reservations for as close to 4:00 as we could.
Mhm.
And it was all within 5-10 minutes of each
Yeah.
other.
And we were going to ask if we can combine them
If
when
we
we
were just
got
gonna-
to the
yeah.
restaurant.
So we talked to Steve and he's like, don't worry about it. He goes, we'll combine them. You've got the table. Don't worry about it. So we get there waiting for them. And it's no big deal because we're sitting outside. Steven came out to talk to us and we probably talked to him for 20, 25 minutes before
Wow.
we even went into the restaurant.
Uh-huh.
So we finally get into the restaurant and he said, he was telling Tom, now listen, I've assigned this and the international workers are now back in Epcot in World Showcase. He said, I've assigned this very nice young lady named Francesca to take care of your table. She's a little bit nervous because she's never had a party of this size. So we haven't assigned her any other tables, just yours, kind of see how it goes, and see how she feels.
Mhm.
Okay, great. No problem. So she was absolutely phenomenal. And through the course of the evening, getting drinks, and all this, our orders and stuff, they're only here. The international workers are only here for a year. So she's trying to go all around the country and experience as much of the United States as she can while she's here.
Okay.
So she said, I really want to experience an American Thanksgiving. Where would you suggest that I go? So I'm like, let me think about it, and we'll talk about it, and we'll come up with some suggestions for you. And Tom and I talked. I'm like, you have to be in somebody's house to experience a real Thanksgiving. You do. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the evening, we're like, Francesca, if you want to experience a real American Thanksgiving, we would love for you to come to Dallas and spend Thanksgiving with us. Would come whenever you can. And we're serious. Tom talked to the manager afterwards, said, look, Stephen, tell her we're dead serious. We'd love for her to come. So a week and a half later, 2 weeks after we got back, we connected with her on Instagram. And she said, I really, truly appreciate your invitation. It was very nice, but I do understand that Thanksgiving is an intimate family affair. So if you would rather me not come, you're not going to hurt my feelings. And I'm like, oh, no. It's not just family. It's friends too.
Absolutely.
So we absolutely want you to come. So short story long, shortly after that, she booked her flight and she said, can you recommend a hotel? I don't know the area. I said, no, you can stay with us. We've got the room. And that's the whole idea.
Wow.
Okay. I'll Uber from the airport. I said, no, we will pick you up. That's not how that's done. So she flew in at 8:00 Thanksgiving morning and flew out at 7:30 in the evening, Friday.
Wow.
So she actually came and spent Thanksgiving with us. It was really funny too, that I think the night before she said, I want to make you a lasagna to bring. I want to bring you a lasagna. Do you think I'll be able to get that on the plane? And I'm like, I don't know. So I Googled it, and they're like, Google was like, yeah, because it's not a liquid and it's not a gel. Shouldn't be any problem. So it was no problem. Yeah. She actually made us an authentic, she's from Turin, sorry.
Wow.
Actually made us an authentic Italian lasagna. And I have to say, after your turkey, which was phenomenal, that lasagna was the biggest hit. Everybody's like, this is the best lasagna. And I agree. It's the best lasagna I've ever had in my life.
It was creamy. It had just enough of everything, not acidic at all. I didn't have any kind of acid reflux or anything. And there was no cheese. He made a bechamel sauce, it's basically a roux. So
made it so creamy. So the next morning she's like, if you'd like, I can show you how, if you've got the ingredients, I can show you how to make my ragu, which is what's called the sauce.
Yes.
So we did. We went to the store and we got all the ingredients. She, said, I need this and this and this. We came back and it was about 3 hours to make the ragu, because we doubled the recipe because I wanted to put some in the freezer. This is not my first rodeo.
Right.
And then we put together lasagna, and we actually had a very good dear friend of ours over to dinner last night, as well as the kids, and had the lasagna. And it was just the best. It's so good.
I actually have photos I'll put up here. Francesca showing Mikey.
Oh,
that was the bechamel sauce, and he loved her. This was before we took her back to the airport. And it was so cute. She would play with him while we were cooking Thanksgiving dinner and everything. She was playing with him and speaking Italian to him. And it was just so sweet. She FaceTimed her sister and her nephew, who is about a year older than Michael, who live in the UK. And her nephew and Michael look
they could be brothers.
Alike. Very,
wow.
Very, and we actually talked to her sister and showed Mikey and showed her nephew, and it was really sweet.
So we now have an Italian daughter.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's an incredible Thanksgiving story.
Yeah.
She's actually, and she's what I was telling you about, the reason why I decided to start learning Italian. she's why, because now we want to go to Italy. She said she would be our
she
tour
also
guide.
said, you let me know when you're going and I will try to be there and I will be your tour guide.
Wow. Is she still at Epcot now, or is she done
She
with that?
is. She's done in April, but she's going to try to get a 30-day extension. They can request an extension at the end of their time. And then whenever their end of the time is, they have 30 days to leave the country. So we're also, she said she's going to figure out how to come back to Dallas before she goes home.
That's fantastic.
And we're going to Edisto Island, South Carolina in May. And she's going to see if she can't figure out how to come up there for a couple of days.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's fantastic. I mean, immediately felt like family.
Mhm.
She's so sweet. We were all very comfortable and good with conversation. So good with Mikey, and Mikey doesn't normally like strangers.
No, he was great with her.
He loved her.
This sounds like the best trip ever.
It
was.
It was a pretty good trip. It was.
Wow. Incredible. Anything else you did this time that maybe you didn't? I mean, I don't know how we're going to top this story. I don't know if we can.
Right?
Nothing beats Francesca.
I'm trying to remember. Did like the Caribbean beach had been refreshed since we were there last. And I do like it. I don't like how they're taking theming out of the rooms though.
Yeah.
There's
less hidden Mickeys.
There's a lot less hidden.
They're in the curtains.
They're in the curtains, repeated in the curtains. And it was very pretty. The room was very nice. It just wasn't over the top. You could go in that room and not know you were at Disney.
Right.
Which is one of the things that we always used to really love about the rooms.
Because I do remember as a kid at Port Orleans French Quarter, there were a lot of hidden Mickeys throughout like everything, the furniture and everything. And my brother and I would go and try and find all of the hidden Mickeys. And our dad would be like, you missed one there. But I still enjoyed our room.
I did too.
I do like how the beds are higher. We could fit everything under there. All of our luggage, the bag that we had the stroller in when we had to check the stroller, the car seat, all of that stuff fit under the bed and out of the way.
And I do love that Disney puts ceiling fans in their hotel rooms. I don't know why other hotels don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I am one. I have to have the fan on at night.
Oh.
Well, and Mikey has grown accustomed to it too, because it's like it just makes a certain sound and it helps him sleep. It helps me sleep too.
Yeah.
But one thing I really love that Disney does when you stay on property, their resort TVs, they've got their resort channels. And I think it started at like 6 p.m. every night until just before 10 p.m. every night. They have story time. It's the Disney story time, and they circle through several different stories, like bedtime stories with Disney. And Michael loved it. He would actually sit there and watch it, drink his nighttime bottle to it, and then fall asleep to it every single night. It was amazing.
Oh,
I think if there was one thing I was disappointed at, it was that we didn't get on Rise of the Resistance. We got in line twice, and the line was so long. The second time we got out of line, and we had to leave because I think both times we had reservations at Oga's, and I'm not missing Oga's Cantina. But the second time, the ride had actually broken down.
Yeah.
So we're like, we can't. So
I know if John's on his way home from work right now, but one of his highlights was he actually built a lightsaber. We went into the shops and we'd never been in that area before. I had never seen it before. So it was really, really cool. Very well themed. And we found a Jedi robe, bought John the robe, and then he went and built his lightsaber. So he had his lightsaber and his robe on the whole rest of the day.
Luckily, it had cooled off.
Yeah, it had cooled off. And then it's funny, my brother built a lightsaber too, and he and John almost had exactly identical lightsabers.
Oh, wow.
They just, I think it was the hilt they had slightly tweaked and different colors.
Okay.
But it was almost the exact
You
same.
want to go grab him?
Yeah.
And then Tom actually built a droid with our grandson Rory.
Oh.
Unfortunately we don't get to see them often enough, so we weren't sure. We were a little concerned about him because only he could go in with Gramps, and we were a little bit concerned about that because he's pretty attached to his parents. He did great. Tom said he did great. He listened to the instructions and did what he was told. He loved that droid. Couldn't wait. There's a little area right outside of where you build them, a little flat area that you can take your droid over and play with it right after you build it. He was having a blast with that.
What kind of droid was it? Was it an R2 unit?
Did he do an R2 unit? Yeah. But he did it red, didn't he? Yeah, red and black. He did a red and black R2 unit.
Oh, I might have one of those down here. My daughter built one that sounds very similar. It's just over there.
Yeah. So
outstanding.
What did we do?
I did a ton of shopping.
Yeah.
I went into every shop, got a ton of Spirit jerseys, got a lot of stuff for Mikey. Water toys. They have like every Disney movie. They've got a collection of bath toys from all of those movies. And they're awesome. Mikey loves them.
And a certain special, someone gifted us a gift card.
Yeah.
And I have always been a Disney Dooney and Burke person. I love the Disney Dooney and Burkes.
Yes.
But I like them when they're subtly Disney.
I can get behind this.
A lot of them lately have been just really over in your face.
Yes.
There's no doubt it's a Disney bag. So I'm like, I'd love to get another bag, but I'm not crazy about the Doonies. So Sydney is a huge fan of Loungeflies.
Yeah.
And it's a good size bag. I've borrowed hers before. I'm like, this could be a winner.
Fits everything you need.
Oh.
Can you see?
It's Coco.
It's Coco.
Trying to make it bigger. Oh, I love that. Oh,
isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Very subtly Disney.
Very subtle. Yes.
So that's what I did with my gift card.
And everybody loves it. So many people have looked at it and been like, I'm going to steal that.
That's going to disappear.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And we need to wrap up pretty soon here, but you guys also used a transportation service to and from the airports this time.
Oh, yeah. They were phenomenal. What was the name of it?
Orlando Magical Rides.
Yeah. They were awesome.
We had, I know y'all said you liked your driver coming in, but Omar, we had him coming in and then going back to the airport. He was fantastic. So sweet, very knowledgeable, knew so much about Disney because he used to work at Disney. And he actually, I was just talking, like when we landed, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot dish soap to wash bottles. And I was like, I don't know if the resort gift shop is going to have soap, the like dish soap, Dawn dish soap for me to do the bottles and everything. And he was like, if they don't have any, here's my personal number. Let me know. I will go to the store, pick it up and bring it to you.
Wow.
And that was just like above and beyond. He didn't have to even offer that. He didn't have to, but he did.
And that kind of, our whole trip, we were running into cast members and staff and stuff like that. We just had phenomenal service this time.
It made me feel good too, because I was a little bit worried about having a baby in the parks and everything, but cast members were so nice. All he had to do was smile at a cast member and he got gobs of stickers. I got so many different stickers just for him. And it was a really good trip. It was much slower, but I feel like I enjoyed it more because we slowed down. We weren't constantly go, rope drop and constant with the reservations and rides. It was just slow and it was nice.
Yes. So we need to wrap up here, but I was just going to ask, maybe you just answered this, Sydney. Any tips out there for someone that they're taking their first baby to their first trip to Walt Disney World?
A Zoe stroller,
Oh,
as they're very compact and lightweight,
okay.
but they also recline for baby to take a nap.
Lots of storage space underneath.
Lots of storage space underneath. And yeah, we needed it. I like I said, I did some shopping.
Did it have a cup holder?
No, however, I went to Amazon and I can't remember the brand, but they partner with Disney for a lot of stroller accessories. And I got a stroller poncho that had Mickey heads all over it. I got 2 clips that had Mickey heads on them and a bag thing that had a cup holder in it that was also Mickey themed. So definitely a Zoe stroller. Those wheels don't get stuck in at Magic Kingdom on Main Street where the trolley and everything is.
They're
tracks. Wheels don't get stuck in the tracks.
Nice, yes.
And it's just the perfect size. It's very easy to maneuver and turn and everything one-handed. Baby care.
Mm-hmm.
Baby care. Baby care. They have everything. If you forgot something, they've got it. And everybody's very, very nice there and helpful.
The biggest tip for anyone ever, don't expect to do everything your first time. That's not going to happen. So don't stress about it and don't try to do everything. Just make a priority list.
And listen to your kid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to know their cues better than anybody else. If they look like they're getting tired, go find a little corner somewhere, or go to the baby care, sit down in a chair in the air conditioning and they'll nap. But yeah, just slow down. And it's going to be more enjoyable if you slow down, because your kid's going to be happy. So you're going to be happy.
Right. Oh, Lisa, Sydney, thanks so much for joining me on the show. Sounds like a fantastic trip.
It was.
It probably really was the best one I've ever had.
Oh, wow. Walk away with a new international friend.
That's right, because we had a great travel agent book it for us.
Yes, we did.
Who was that?
Well, Mr. Tim Scott.
That harmonized. We didn't even practice that one.
We practiced.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. Everybody, you've been listening to ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. I'm Tim Scott. Guys, take us away.
See you later, everybody.
Bye. Have a magical evening.